Hey, what's up guys? This is Ethan Jacobs and I'm here to showcase my newest Blender game engine project, which I'm just calling America West right now, but I will be coming up with a new name. Now, it's based on a little book that I wrote, and essentially all that you see here is the map that it's kind of an extended world building exercise. We've got some assets that are mine and some that aren't mine. These shops, obviously the ones that I haven't messed with, are from a free online resource, which has been super helpful. But if you can see, which I hope you can, I've actually reinvented some of these storefronts to be more my style. So you see we have a life tax building, the hair shop, all sorts of kind of dystopian ideas, the flag store, which if you see the flag it's all messed up. I mean, hopefully you notice that America's flag has more than 2 stars, or the US's flag. But anyway, let's get to the meat of what I've actually been working on. We've got full sound effects, rigged FPS arms. All of the characters are mine. All of the buildings that aren't the little ones are I made. The skybox is kind of it was a little group effort. But yeah, I was using some material nodes to make this sort of splotchy, textured base. We have a weapon too. It's called the light baton. Press E, mouse wheel up, selects the weapon. I was very happy with this. The weapon's hand painted by me. The characters are all hand painted. This is Neely. They're all characters in my book. This is the Rain Man. He's like an enemy spawn type. I haven't really programmed to do much other than follow, but you can see he's animated. They're all animated and have face rigs. I've also created an NPC dialogue system. Are you even supposed to be here? Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna get my girlfriend voice that at some point. I have a bed here, which I think is very ominous and funny because press E, and now it's nighttime. So what's the light baton good for? Well, in lethal mode, you press the right mouse button, and then it takes 10 health off any enemy. These guys aren't enemies, but I'm just using them as them for now. C turns into a standby flashlight. You see, I just jumped and lost a bunch of health because I have ball damage added to the game now. But yeah, you can see it's very dark at night, which is the first time I've actually, because I'm going for a very retro graphic style. If you've seen my other games, they're usually hand painted, usually very, I just lost like all my health. They're usually hand painted stylized graphics. This, I would say, are stylized and they're hand painted, but in a more retro way. They're all box modeled, which I did a video on with the guy up there, Juan Pedro. Let's get a little dialogue from him. That's really good. But yeah, he's the only one I didn't add a face rig to. So technically my character is at 10 health right now. He'll die soon. But how about I show how I've done all this so far? So obviously you've got this map. It's pretty burdensome to look at. We've got the floating highways. Or not floating, but raised highways for maximum dystopian feel. The buildings, all of that, it's all very basic. I made these shipping crates myself with the texture I found online. And then I've created a few systems that I think are pretty cool, and they involve this HUD scene. Now the HUD scene has, let's go to the zero camera, we have a text property which I'm using. I saw a video, this really helpful guy showed it, in order to get it to talk. So each character has their own state, is the way I'm doing it with this text block. A message sends, puts in the state, you press Q, it exits the state. So right now, property, you put it in quotation marks, and then they'll say, I have like a little thing called scene, and this should be actually scene Kimmy, because each character has their own unique thing, but Kimmy's the only one who has like more than one dialogue options. Then I've got the talk button, and basically the way that these two buttons here work is that the character in the scene, it's a ray sensor, and the ray looks for, like I say, show item, ray item range 2, and then it sends a message and makes that pop up, which is pretty cool. So after you pick up the light baton, obviously, you can jump up on it. Oh, okay, so you know how I just lost a bunch of health? So I basically have a fall timer, and every object needs to have ground on it, or else it doesn't detect it as a, yeah, that's super problematic. So add ground to that, to that, to that. one of these doesn't have ground on it. That's why when you see me jump, I just lost a bunch of health. But essentially, there's a timer, and if it's above like 100, then it's like, that's some fall damage there. And I totally didn't just do that again. Oh, it's because this one needs ground too. Fine, I'll add ground to that one as well. Really, it's preposterous. But, you know, I have some kind of makeshift systems in place right now. Yeah, so he doesn't take fall damage now. At least from there, because that's preposterously low height. But yeah, I'm just kind of yapping. I want to explain a little bit more of this before I power off. But my idea for this game, quote unquote, is obviously making the world look a little bit better. Right now it looks very, very cheesy. I mean, it's better than probably all my other maps, but at the same time, you know, well, I will say that my one Verso map wasn't terrible. But you guys probably have seen the video before. I also have a little theme here, which I'm going to kind of run around and explain it in the full view. Any second now. Okay, I've also added a loading scene and all that, so, you know, there's preparatory actions being taken. But yeah, we've got the big map, and I'm just going to kind of roam around and let you guys see what you think. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole theme. At one point I add like this weird Japanese sounding instrument, super fun. All these buildings have names. This is the Bombard Keppel building, which is all reference to the book that I'm basing this off of. Philadelphia Bernstein, I just named that after a college professor because I thought it was funny. What the freak is that? Oh, it's a shipping crate that I have wire view on. Let's keep it untextured. I'm trying to think what else I haven't covered. I mean, I guess that's like, to be honest, like the bulk of it in terms of what I have. I tried to add this. I don't know if people are gonna like it or not. It looks kind of terrible. It's supposed to be like a little stone display thing. I guess it makes it look better than what it looked like before, but like barely. But then we also have the roads. The roads I did really shoddily. I could have done a better job on these. Speaking of which, you can probably... Can we? No, that looks like even worse. Yeah, okay. Some things are just lost causes, okay. I don't know how much these are subdivided. I'm just going to fix this real quick. No one's going to notice. But then G, you know, I can probably do some more videos on stuff like texturing and some of the new techniques I've discovered, because, like, you know, I want to share with the community, even though pretty much every idea I've taken here is stolen from a Blender Game Engine tutorial. I'm not a very intelligent person with coding, or not coding, but programming. I'm actually planning on delving into Python so that I can get a better idea of how to do a lot of this stuff, because, I mean, look at this. This is horrible. That's just, one state, second state's for dialogue, but just so muddied. And I mean, it's manageable. It is. I mean, this is so much easier than for me using Unreal Engine, which I don't know if I made a video on it. I have actually dabbled. I hate it. I mean, I like it, but I hate it. But yeah, we have day and night. We have all that. That's just the bulk of our content. I also have a loading screen. You can almost tell which video it's ripped from. Shout out to Timster. The HUD, yeah, we've covered all of that. Basically, to delve into now what I want to add, what the end goal for this project is, he plays this guy who's he's enhanced. It's in a world where everybody's old and dying, and there's a few people who have special abilities, aka they have strong immune systems. But all these guys, it's the Rain Man, they're a religious order that have overthrown the United States with the Cultural Revolution, and now they've outlawed all technology. So one of the key ideas is for there to be no real lights or anything. There's the light baton, which is a light switch, but you're gonna find out later that it's actually gas powered. All technology in this world is gas powered, because I thought it was funny and very sad. But I want to change these to be other. It's gonna be skin removers and stuff. That's the bulk of what I wanted to show. Obviously, there's the smokestacks, which are just going to be shooting chemicals into the sky because we love that. These buildings are supposed to be like this. Yeah, I know. Okay, the texturing here. Talk about. You can tell somebody gave up. Let's see. I've been using cube projection. I found that works really well. It's my new favorite thing. But not for this, because it's rotated, it doesn't work very well. It worked okay for that one, but not this one. I'll worry about that later. I'm not going to bore you guys with the details. I get sidetracked very easily. But I'm going to be making a lot more videos on this whole world, the way everything's going to function. By the next update, you need to expect what I'm calling Roulette Labs, which is basically where you spawn in and you learn the mechanics, and then you end up here. Originally, I was going to do it on a separate scene, but I'm finding now that it might just be easier to have it right here, because Roulette has the Cosmoslotnik. No, it's the Bombard Keppel. That's their building. So I want to add a laboratory right here, and it's going to be fully furnished, large complex. Okay, let's see something like this. Yeah. But yeah, let's say that's Roulette Labs. It's just this huge brutalist building, and I texture pretty easily. What you do is just press cube projection. So I just cylinder cube projection. And this is basically how you make a building. Whoa. I mean, it looks like actual crap, but that's how you do it. I'm gonna actually make this a lot lower. I think that Roulette Labs does not need to be 6 stories tall. But yeah, Control A, efficient scale, and then do it all over again. Cube projection. But I'm thinking the player starts in here. Oh, it's not ideal. Sorry, I'm a little off today. Player starts in here. You move outwards, or you think you're going to move outwards, but instead you end up right here. And then it's a mission. You have to get down from the top of this crazy tower without killing yourself. And once you're safely down, then it's you meet these characters. You have a journal. It's you get the names of the 3 NPCs. So you get the names of Neely, Kimmy, and Juan Pedro, and you have to work with them to get rid of the Rain Men, and that's probably the whole game. There's not going to be a lot of structure. There's going to be a lot of dialogue, a lot of interactions, but for the most part, it's going to be pretty simple. But if you want to follow this, this is just purely for fun. Usually I do a lot of music stuff, but I've been a little down lately, and this has just been a little therapeutic for me. So if you're interested in seeing how this is going to come along, which, it always will, I'm pretty consistent about making projects in the Blender game engine. I think that it's a really good tool for people who know how to 3D model and they want to make a game, but they're not the kind of people who want to like deal with waiting 5 minutes for the freaking program to start up. Because I made this, like, I've modded my practice in my server, I started with just one character who I think was Guy. It was test Guy, it was this blend. Oh my god. This keeps happening. Okay. One of them is not. I think this is not scaled right. Yeah. Okay, but I started with, and those are the arms. By the way, if you want to use any of the files from this, if you really like it, never mind. I just figured out what was wrong with this one guy. It's gonna really bother me unless I fix it. But I had auto keyframe insertion on, which is why he's messed up. There's a literal freaking action attached to him. But case in point, if you want to like learn how to do stuff like this, or if you want to use the assets in my server, which I can link in the video, I do it often. It's probably in another video. I have all of the files here on my drive, including the book, if you're curious enough to see what's in my crazy mind. But yeah, that's just how it works. So I don't know why he's over there. I have a lot of issues. I usually like doing stuff in separate blends. Also, apologies, this video is like 90% filler, but I kind of showed I don't have enough content to make like an actual effectively long video. But I fixed this now. Invisible. Ah, voila. I model him here and then I bring him out. But I think I came over here to show what I started with. I started with this guy who I called him Christopher. He just adds nothing. He's not a character in the book. He's just like a guy. And I guess I just didn't even like think it through when I made him. Trust, but yeah, he's kind of cool. He's the first low poly character I modeled. I just had a cube and I extruded out and then I texture painted it. And the texture painting that's the art, you know. And it's incredible because the more I started working with these guys, I realized that I don't need to do a sculpt. I don't need to retopologize them. I don't need to do any of this. With just box modeling, I have enough information to make these like really low poly characters, and I can make them expressive too. Because like, look at this. I tried to go for more of a Lara Croft vibe, making the overtly sexualized female character, but here it's like with the eyes, I just added this part here, you know, for looking a little more feminine, and then when you're rigging it, just assign it to that group, and then you know she can blink fairly easily, and look how much it adds like in game. When you use the light baton, it's like hysterical. It's evil and like, you know, abusive to these characters, but it's funny as hell. Because I think that having expressions adds a lot to the game world. If they just kind of stared at you all blank faced like the Rain Man, you know, then how can you tell who's good and who's bad, you know? At least these guys are pretty friendly. But this guy, I mean, like, does he blink? Oh, ignore that. Yeah, he blinks. But it was really easy, and they're super low poly. Because you look at the scene, there's 28,000 tries. Look how much is going on here. It's a whole city. I mean, I think that's pretty good for a Blender game engine project. 0.1. I'm not actually using the step. I'm using the character controller because I just don't like the jump. I've tried to use dynamic. I can't get behind it. I know that you can get like better movement and stuff, but the character controller is what I need for this project. It's never gonna get to a point, I don't think, where I need much more. Well, that's about all for now. I'm gonna update this in a few days, and I'm gonna make like actually a cohesive like trailer of what's going on, and I'll have like a little gameplay demo of the what do you call it? Of the labs. But here's our world right now. Take a peek. I think it's very cool. I'll be back in the future, but for now, have a nice day and stay followed with the project.